Hi, I'm Calum, and today I'm going to speak about a few things. Firstly, who I am, and of course why I'm doing this video, and potentially further videos down the line. The next thing that I'm going to speak about is a comparison of business and a job, and you'll see why we'll be speaking about that as we get through this video. I've recently left my job in engineering to go full-time for myself with a couple of businesses, and I'd like to inspire other people to do the same, because I think that it's a really great step in my life, and yeah, I'd like to help other people do the same thing. So that's the kind of objective of this video, and I will then go on to speak about some further things that I'll be doing in the future. So yeah, as I've mentioned, my name's Calum MacLeod, and I'm 26 from Edinburgh. I have just in the last couple of weeks left my job to go full-time at two businesses that I've been running along with my business partner for, well, properly just over a year, a bit more unofficially, over 2 years. The idea for the first business, as probably with most businesses, came almost 3 years ago, and only after a series of events actually came to fruition, because it needed a fair bit of money, a fair bit of time, and lots of other things that at that moment in time I didn't have. However, we now have opened that business. It's a glamping business, so it's a glamping site, and from that I designed it myself, and from that we have created another business, because I saw a gap in the market when creating the first business, and that was that there was nobody specialist that designs only glamping sites. So I thought, why not do it? You know, the greatest opportunities come from your own problems. I actually just read about that earlier on today. Richard Branson said that that's why he started the Virgin brand, and specifically Virgin Flights, Virgin Airlines, because he didn't like airlines. He thought he could do better, and look where it's got him. So yeah, maybe I'm not going to be Richard Branson, but I'd like to take some lessons from him and from other people. And yeah, that as I'll speak about later on, is the idea of what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to inspire other people to take a leap. So a little bit more about my experience. I left school eight years ago, maybe, something like that. I went to university for 5 years, and for me now, I feel like that is a very big waste of my 5 years. Not only that, of money. I was lucky enough to stay with my mum and dad, and to not have a lot of the things that are going to bring the potential student debt that a lot of other people maybe do get. In England you've got to pay for university. I didn't have any of those problems. So actually there'd be a lot of people in a much worse situation than me leaving university. And for me, they don't get much for it. They get a bit of paper that enables them to get a pretty naff job, nothing great, and trundle along through their life, occasionally getting a pat on the back when they do something good, and not much more. And they just trundle through life. You don't get proper reward for achievement, and because you don't get proper reward for achievement, you don't try and achieve. And I think that's fundamentally very, very wrong. I've gone on to a bit of a rant here that I actually wasn't wanting to, but I think that this is very good stuff. We fundamentally block creativity because of the way that the system is built, and because of that, people come out of university with a whole load of debt, a whole load of time spent, and off they go into the real world and trundle through, occasionally getting a promotion because somebody else decided they get a promotion. and that's it. And that's your life for the next 50 years until you're, I've spoken to guys in my old work, 50, 60 years old, standing making a coffee, saying, only 5 years till I retire. Like, well, what sort of life is that? Having to answer to somebody else for your entire life. And you get some sort of benefit when they decide. Be in charge of your own future. You should be in charge of your own destiny, because I can promise that if you are, you're going to work harder and you're going to achieve a lot more. And that's what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to, inspire some people to do that. I want to speak to as many people as I can that are in a position where they potentially want to do that. I'd just love to help. Coming back to the university thing. If somebody, I left school at 17, I actually left a year early, I left at the end of 5th year. Normally you stay till the end of 6th if you're going to go to university. I left at the end of 5th year, but let's say, the average person leaves at the end of 6th year and then spends 4 years in uni. Obviously I spent 5 because I did a master's, which again is another burn of my time. But that's a different conversation. You get to 18 and you leave school and go to university for 4 years. You spend 4 years, probably the first year drinking, the second year starting to think, oh, maybe I should do some work, the third year absolutely panicking because it's so hard, and the fourth year kind of just trundling through again because it's projects and stuff that you never understand the value of when you're there. Actually, I look back at some of the projects that I've done and I realise that I've learned some things from it, and that's probably the only thing that I can really take from a university going forward. So 4 years in university, and then you come out to a job that, I'm not going to speak about financial numbers. In fact, no, I will, because let's compare apples with apples. After 5 years, let's say 4 years plus a wee while for actually getting a job, but let's say you leave uni into a job straight away, you're on 25 grand a year. Okay, great. The person that's left school at 18 or 16, let's say 18, they've left school at 18, they have started their own business on whatever, like literally anything, started their own business, and they've spent 4 years growing that business. 4 years. Yeah, the same amount of time that somebody spent at university. How much money will that business be making after 4 years? So remember, the person at university is now on £25,000 a year. That person that spent 4 years at a business, 4 years, they will almost certainly, no matter what their business is, their business could be literally anything, no matter what their business is, they will be making more than £25,000 a year. Both my businesses together don't add up to 4 years, and they're both making a hell of a lot more than £25,000 each. Granted, one of them is in a fair amount of debt because it had a lot of assets to buy at the start, but still, the profit on top of that is way more than 25,000. And the same with the other business. It is just almost a time for money exchange, which actually is something that in later videos I'll probably speak about not being the ultimate goal. But for me just now, it has enabled me to give all my time to my businesses and push forward. So coming back to the example of the person that's gone to university and the person that started the business. The person that started the business not only will be earning more money by the time they get to that 4 year mark, how much more are they going to know about what they're doing than the person that's just left university and gets thrown into something that is completely different to what they've been learning for the last however long? Because job does not equal university. Even if you do, I did electrical engineering and I came into an electrical engineering job and it was different. It's not the same stuff. So you just relearn again, and by the time you get another 4 years on or whatever, suddenly you're back up to the same sort of level as what that person in the business was doing. And how far ahead are they now after 8 years? They're probably not even doing the work that they started out to do anymore. They'll be managing people, because in 8 years in business, I mean, it's frightening how far you could go. Off the top of my head, I mean, how long's Instagram been about? Probably 8 years, maybe even less. Yeah, probably about 8 years. You know, there'll be so many things that are big just now that are less than 8 years old. Look how far you can go in 8 years. And that's the point, that actually somebody that's gone into a job after being at university is only just getting competent at. That's the time that they start to get competent. And in that time, the person that started a business is just in the stratosphere. So I spent a bit longer on that last section than I planned on doing. However, for the people that are still here, because we're 10 minutes in and a lot of people have probably turned off, got bored of my voice. For the people that are still here, I want to speak about why I'm doing this video and potential further videos down the line. So the main reason, as you probably realised, is that I'm trying to help people to understand the difference between a job and a business, and actually how much better a business can potentially be. And yeah, I just want to help people make that jump. You know, if you're sitting there and you're thinking, you know, I've always had this business idea, I just don't know what to do, and you get all stuck in it and you stay in your job and you trundle along, you're the person that I want to speak to. I want to help people get from being in a job to getting into business. Any business, you know, any business at all. That idea that you're thinking of, because every one of you that is watching this video at this stage will be thinking about that idea that you've got. That is a business. And that can enable you to, you know, leave your job and potentially work less hours, make more money, enjoy your life more. You know, I was actually speaking about this earlier on this morning, is see now, when I get to 5 PM, I get annoyed. I look at the time and I think, oh, I want more time. Whereas when I was in a job, once it got to 2 o'clock after lunch, I'd be sitting there and I'd be thinking, oh, I can't wait till 4 o'clock. And I'd be watching the clock tick down, tick down. Now, when it gets to 5 o'clock, an hour after I've normally left, I'm getting angry that I've only got, you know, an hour or two left. And yes, you're probably doing the maths. That does mean that I'm doing more hours just now. However, those hours that I'm putting in just now, I'd like to hope, you know, it might not come to fruition, but I'd like to believe that they will enable me to have so much more choice down the line as to when I work, how I work, where I work from. And I've digressed a little bit, so I'm going to come back to the main objective of this section, and that's to speak about the objectives of these videos. So yeah, as I've said, I want to speak to people that are planning on or are thinking about or have a business idea in their head and want to make that leap. I want to speak to them, I want to help them, I want these videos to be inspiration to them. What else am I planning on doing with these videos? Well, I want to hold myself accountable. So going forward, I'm going to be doing weekly videos, potentially bi-weekly videos, speaking about my week ahead and potentially the week that's just gone past. And what will that do? That'll make me accountable for what I say. So if I say on a Monday morning, I am planning on doing X, Y, and Z, and then it comes to Friday afternoon and I've not done it, then I'm going to look like a bit of an idiot on the video, haven't I? So it is partly to hold myself accountable for what I plan to do that week, and hopefully it can, you know, enable me to meet a lot more of my targets, which sometimes can be quite big, quite scary, but you know, I just want to hold myself accountable. And why else? So videos, I've realised recently, are very important in business. You know what, I'm getting to the stage where I'm starting to consider sending out videos for various different things to potential clients, discussing their job, discussing various different aspects of things we can do. I'm also considering bringing them into blogs, which is a whole different discussion as to why that's important. I'm looking at putting, you know, explanation videos into our website for one of the businesses. Again, it's a whole different conversation about why that's important, but it can be extremely important. I'd like to think that all these things together will really increase the amount of work that we can get, and just push the business on. So that is most of the reasons. However, probably the biggest reason, the reason I'm recording this video right now, is because it's scary, isn't it? It is frightening to sit down and turn on a camera on yourself and speak away, you know, about your life and about all these things. It's really, really scary. And I like to do things that scare me now. I never used to. You know, I used to curl up in my comfort zone and stay there forever. However, nowadays I want to do as many things that scare me as possible, because actually, when I start to do them, I realise they're not that scary. And my comfort zone grows and grows and grows, and then I keep going away outside the comfort zone. And that is probably the main reason that I'm doing these videos just now, because they're scary. And I want to do more things that scare me, to realise that actually they're not that scary, and just grow my comfort zone, grow all the other zones out with the comfort zone that are a conversation for another day, and yeah, just really accelerate my life. So, what can you expect next from me? Well, I'm planning on bi-weekly videos, one on a Monday morning and one on a Friday afternoon. Time dependent, that will happen. It may be that there's only one a week. We'll see how long it takes. Obviously this first one's taken me a lot longer than some of the future ones probably will do, but you know, that's the hope, is that I'll get better as I go on, and that's probably one of the next things that you can expect from me, is the videos to improve. When I first decided I was going to do these videos, it was a couple of months ago, and we didn't have this office, which you can see here. We didn't have it. So I was originally planning this video whilst in the spare bedroom in my mum and dad's house, and I liked that idea, funnily enough. Weirdly enough, I liked that idea because the first video that I was going to do was going to show me in my mum and dad's house, and then in the future, this crazy future that I had planned, I would have an office. As it transpires, we've managed to get into this office a lot quicker than we thought we would. Things have just accelerated with the business, and we've been able to get into this office a lot sooner. So I had hoped that this video was going to show a real progression, you know, mum and dad's bedroom to office to blah blah blah. We've not quite got that first rung, we've managed to jump to the second rung, but I'd still like to hope that as the weeks go forward, you'll see a lot of progress in the quality of the videos, the surroundings, everything, in my demeanour in front of the camera. What else can you expect? We're going to speak about the good, the bad and the ugly of the businesses and business as a whole. So, you know, I'm not going to hide the bad things. The bad things will come. I look forward to the bad things, because, you know, one bad thing means we're one step closer to the next good thing. It's like a ladder, you know, some things are bad, some things are good. Let's get through the bad ones, let's get up to the good ones. Simple. So you're going to see the good, the bad and ugly. You're going to see, you know, everything about the business that I can share, and yeah, just see the progress that we're going to have going forward. So hopefully you enjoyed that video. We're probably 15 minutes in now. Probably not a lot of you have made it this far, but if you have, thank you for listening, and I look forward to speaking to you in the future.